Hey, I'm Nick, and just recently I've talked about how useful it is to write down the things that you hate and the emotions that you get when you fail at something to remind yourself of how hard you want to work. And in a similar vein, I want you to create an even more important list of the times where you really stuff up and you use that as a way to measure how much of a change needs to be made. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and at the worst times. And like I said before, you cannot be 100% perfect. There's going to be times where you stuff up. But the important thing is that on the times that we do stuff up, we actually take a note and we don't just let it slide all the time. You can't just expect to have a new lifestyle of being super productive that is basically the opposite of what you may have been doing before, like watching TV and slacking off on the couch, without experiencing roadblocks and challenges and stuff going wrong. You can't do some kind of research and take notes and really think about how you're going to do it and set up a bunch of barriers and roadblocks in place to stop anything cracking your routine and stopping you from being productive, because it's going to go wrong. But like I said, what's important is that we react to the things that go wrong. We don't just let it slide. That's what I've mentioned before about writing down what you hate in a way to motivate you, similar to writing down what you want in life. Writing down what you don't want and what you hate motivates you to reach it. But writing down the times that you fail helps you measure, like I said, how close the need to make a bigger change is. So similar to writing down when you feel strong emotions, write down when you've realized that you've stuffed up in a big way. Maybe it's realizing that you've just wasted an hour on your phone and something's gone awry and you've set yourself back in your routine and you're not able to catch up and you've stuffed up your day in perception. Write that down and use that as a measure of, does something need to be changed? Because sometimes you can stuff up, you can be on your phone, and then afterwards you're like, that's not me, and then it never happens again. Writing down, making a tally of the times where you've really stuffed it up, and like even name the tally stuff ups or something like that, and then tallying each time you stuff up. If it starts going higher, then find out what you're stuffing up, and maybe it's time to cut it out, like social media, like some other kind of app or some other habit that you have. And think to yourself, when you've written it down, how often are you going to deal with this? Now, if you really respect your time and respect that you want to be successful and not be chained to these distractions, then keep it to something small, like 3 or 5 times, and then you'll think about taking a drastic action and actually locking in and getting the work done. There's no point in telling yourself that you're making some kind of change and you're not just letting it slide by writing down when bad stuff happens if you then don't actually do anything. You need to have an action plan for the times that you stuff up. You need to have an action plan to counteract these bad habits that are starting to creep in, because you know they're creeping in because you're tallying every time the thing goes wrong. And even if it doesn't get that far, like I mentioned before, it can just be an honest stuff up. That's still motivating you. That's still similar to writing down when you're in those angry emotions with yourself, what you hate and what you don't want to see yourself do. When you write down when you stuff up, how you hate how you've done that, then when you look back and you're starting to feel that urge to go back on old habits, that is really going to give you that kick of, this isn't you, it's time to get back in the proper headspace and keep on going. But that's it for today. It's just to write down the times where you really stuff up, keep a tally, and when that tally starts hitting numbers like 3 or 5 times where you've done the same thing that you hate doing and you really regret, then it may be time to implement more drastic action and actually start locking in. However, if you're still interested in learning more about productivity tips or tricks, I've now started one-on-one coaching, which you can book a call for using the first link in the description below. But until then, I'll see you later.